Hello and welcome to the OneTrust release overview video for the 2025 02.1.0 release, also known as the 2025 winter seasonal release, which started rolling out on February 17, 2025. In this video, I will cover the major features that were released as public preview or general availability in the third-party risk management solution. As always, just a quick reminder that this video reflects OneTrust's current expectations for product capabilities. Be advised that dates and features may be subject to change and should not be relied upon when making purchasing decisions. Starting with the third-party due diligence product, there are two new features in this release. The first feature, Configurable Screening Request Templates, is now available in public preview, and Streamlined setup and management of Dow Jones integration workflows is now generally available. In the third-party risk exchange product, there is one new feature in this release, expansion of RiskRecon Data, which is now generally available. Finally, for our third-party risk management product, there is one new feature, AI document scanning, which is now available in limited public preview. Let's get started with the new features. The Configurable Screening Request Templates allows you to define a template of specific details to return from a Dow Jones screening. Until now, Dow Jones screenings were comprehensive by default, leading to a great deal of overhead when screening low-risk third parties. With the ability to apply different screening criteria against various third parties via a template, you can reduce your compliance overhead and maximize your compliance budget. To create a new template, click on the Create Screening Template button on the Screening Request Template screen. After giving the template a name and description, you can now configure what options you would like, such as match percentage, country or territory, screening options, and the ability to indicate if the screening is for an organization, a person, or both an organization and a person. Depending on this selection, additional options will be available that are specific for a person or an organization. After saving your template settings, you can now choose your content filtering. The options presented are also tied to the selection made in the template filter, only showing selections for organizations, persons, or both, depending on what was selected on the previous page. Once the filters have been selected and saved, you will now get a review page where you can confirm all the selections that have been made. Once you confirm your selections, you can now publish the template. It is important to note that once you publish the template, it is read-only and cannot be modified. If you want to change the template, you will need to archive the current version and create a new one from scratch. After creating and publishing the template, the next step is to move to workflows to start using it. In the workflow, there are two options, Entity Type and Screening Request Template. Once the entity type is selected, the list of templates will automatically be updated to show the ones configured for the entity type selected. It is important to note that this list is also affected by the selection made in the Integration Workflow option, where you can select screening, monitoring, or both. For more details on how to set up and configure the Screening Request Templates, please watch the Technical Feature Enablement video for this feature. Now let's look at the second third-party due diligence feature, which is Streamlined setup and management of Dow Jones integration workflows. With this new feature, setting up a new integration with Dow Jones is much easier and less prone to errors. In addition, the adoption of the latest version of a seeded Dow Jones integration workflow has been simplified, which results in eliminating or reducing the need to contact OneTrust support or involve professional services. To set up a new Dow Jones integration, you first need to add your specific credentials for connecting to Dow Jones. After the credentials have been created, you then navigate to the Due Diligence Integrations page, which is located in the Setup area of Third-Party Due Diligence. Currently, there are 7 seeded integration workflows for Dow Jones due diligence. Depending on your subscription, you will need some or all of these. From time to time, these workflows are updated to provide additional benefits from the service. When starting a new integration, each of these workflows needs to be added to your tenant. Performing this task is now a matter of simply selecting each workflow, providing the credentials configured earlier, as well as a notification email, and activating the integration. Notice that there is now an Automated Integration Updates option. By default, Automated Updates is turned off. To enable Automated Updates, click on the text and you will be taken to the General Settings area of OneTrust. Here you will toggle on the Automatic Updates, select the Dow Jones credentials created earlier, and save the settings. Now the Dow Jones integrated workflows configured in your tenant will be updated when a change has been made to the seeded workflow. Finally, if any new workflows are created, you will be notified by email, or you can click on the Setup Integration button, which will let you know if you are currently using all of the existing integrations, and if not, you will see the new integrations listed as shown before. Moving on to third-party risk exchange, there is one new feature, RiskRecon Data Expansion, which is now generally available. This feature brings in RiskRecon cybersecurity hygiene ratings at the weighted average and domain level, including ratings for application security, breach events, email security, DNS security, and more. These ratings can be used in automation rules, inherent risk scoring, and monitoring workflows. Prior to this update, the only information from RiskRecon in the third-party risk exchange was the overall rating, what the score means, and how the score was calculated. Looking at an example, we can see that this company has an overall rating of 8.2, but now if you click on the More Details option, you can see all the individual items that make up the overall rating. Now you will be able to focus in on specific ratings for each vendor that are important to your company to monitor, and you have the ability to trigger assessments and other actions if those ratings change. The final new feature in third-party risk management is AI Questionnaire Autocomplete, which is releasing as public preview. The purpose of this feature is to dramatically decrease the time spent evaluating vendors by using AI to ingest vendor documents such as a SOC 2 report and autocomplete questions in an assessment from the information in that report. It is important to note several key points about the importing of documents. First, we do not train the AI model using your data. Second, there is a limit of 5 PDF files in one import. Third, there is a limit of a total of 2 gigabytes for all the files in one import. And fourth, only text fields, single select, and multi-select questions are supported. We will constantly be making improvements and modifications to the AI import process to ensure you get the best results. It is important to note the following limitations of this public preview. First, this feature is only available in regions where the AI functionality is available in the Microsoft Azure environment. This includes US and Brazil only. Other areas have limited or no support. Second, document scanning currently only supports documents written in English. Other languages will be supported in the future. In this example, we have launched an assessment of a vendor. In the new AI response card, Import Documents is selected. Now the SOC 2 report is added and the process is started. Once this is complete, you can review the responses in the assessment. Here we can see that AI has added responses to multiple questions. There are text responses as well as single select true false or yes no questions that have been answered. Each question that has been completed by AI has the View AI Source button that, when clicked, will provide you with the details of where the response came from in the source document. It is always possible to override or update the AI-generated response in the assessment, and if at some point you want to revert back to the AI response, you can simply click on the View AI Source button and click the Revert Back to AI Answer to change the response back to the AI-generated answer. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it has been helpful and informative. Please see the additional videos on My OneTrust that cover the new features in additional areas of the product. If you are interested in more details about the 2024 02.1.0 release or what's going on with the product, please be sure to check out the OneTrust Talks Tech podcast.